All right, this last news story comes to us from Michael Kripe over at IGN. New Astro Bot game rumored to be announced in the next 2 weeks. Sony is rumored to be gearing up to announce a new Astro Bot game for PlayStation 5 soon. The details come from D Labs and reliable leaker Billy Bincoon, which say that developer Team Asobi will apparently reveal the next entry in its cutesy robot platformer series sometime in the next 15 days. Part of the unannounced title is said to take place in a desert area with a new character described as Fennec Fox in the form of a robot that shares some similarities with Astro. IGN understands the rumor to be accurate. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that?
This is such a weird way to put that, but thank you. The D Labs report adds that the title may simply be named Astrobot and expects to be released exclusively for PS5 and not PSVR 2. Asobi's next game has been rumored for some time.
It's dead.
Yeah.
It's dead. Are you kidding? The game or the platform that introduced Astrobot's not getting another game. It's dead.
It's done.
PSVR 2 is done.
Asobi's next game has been rumored for some time, as in 2021, the studio published a job posting that teased its most ambitious game yet. I remember talking about that on our podcast. You probably go back and listen to that episode. The studio later doubled down on this, saying its next project will be its biggest to date. Asobi cemented itself as a PlayStation studio in 2021. The Summer Game Fest set to kick off in the next few weeks. It's no surprise to hear that PlayStation has some announcements in the cards. A PlayStation showcase of some kind has been rumored for weeks as well, with many believing that Sony will announce a summer presentation sooner rather than later. However, it's probably best to keep expectations tempered until a PlayStation event is officially revealed. Astrobot has appeared only a handful of times in the last decade and is usually used to highlight PlayStation hardware features. Astrobot Rescue Mission, a game we gave a 9 out of 10, wowed PSVR users upon its release in 2018. Then the launch of PS5 in 2020, users were treated with Astro's Playroom, a platform that dived into the PlayStation history while putting a spotlight on the DualSense controller's features. We gave it an 8 out of 10 in our review. It's hard to say exactly how the next Astro game will build upon Asobi's previous work, but the team seems to at least be confident in what it's been working on for the last few years. I am so here for this.
Stoked.
Astro's Playroom is up there with one of the best PS5 games. I'm going to say it.
I'll say it is. I'll say it is. They can fight me all they want. 100%. I don't know what's better than it. What would you say is in the running? Maybe Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing I can think that is as good as Astrobot.
Yeah. A Sony exclusive, PlayStation exclusive, PS5 specifically exclusive game. Like, I think Ratchet and Clank is the only thing. And I think to me, it would edge it out. I think Ratchet and Clank would be above it, just barely. But
I can't fight you on that. I think they're both fantastic.
Astro's Playroom, like visually, was extremely impressive. It was a gorgeous game. It did a great job showing off the DualSense controllers and actually had like really fun gimmicks, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just an incredible platformer too. Like the worlds were fun and like this whole story and collecting all of the PlayStation trinkets. Like that was the best part, filling out that you can walk into that room. There's just like 100 little knickknacks, half of which I didn't even know ever existed. I've been a PlayStation fan since like the beginning. And I was going through there. I'm like, what? Like there was this peripheral for the PlayStation 2 and this for the PSP and whatever. And
I feel like a lot of them didn't come out here.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of stuff probably is Japanese exclusive, but getting a sequel to that or just like something in that world sounds so good. Sounds incredible.
I'm all for it. All for it.
I love how the rumor or leak or whatever you want to call it specifically mentions though that it's not coming to PSVR 2. Like they wanted to also kind of like take a little jab at Sony, like
take a dig. Yeah.
PSVR 2's dead.
Hey, it's not coming out on your stupid headset. Sorry.
Oh man.
You know what? For full transparency, when they start to fire sale PSVR 2, if one ever gets down to like $250,
$199.
Okay, $199. Might do it.
I might
do it. $550 is insane.
My biggest gripe with PSVR 2 though is it's not backwards compatible with PSVR games.
Right, and I already have a lot of those.
I have a big old library, a ton of games on PSVR, and so I would almost rather just buy a PSVR 1 again.
And just play it on the 5.
And play it on the 5. Yeah, exactly. And play all the games I already have that I know are great. And half of which there's a lot of them I didn't even get to because I ended up having this. I sold my PSVR early because we need to pay some bills. I was like, sorry, gotta go. It's the first thing to go. And so I have games I never even got to. I was so excited to play on there. So it's
what though? We talked that talk, and then I remember how much of a pain in the butt PSVR 1 is to set up with that extra box.
That was sucks.
And then you got to do the HDMI to the PS5 or PS4, and then the PS4 HDMI out to the TV, and then hook the box up and the USB. Oh my God. Actually, you know what? Let me buy a PSVR 2. Let me just buy a PSVR 2. No thanks.
Yeah, no, it was annoying. It was frustrating, but I don't know. I had so much fun in that world. But being my first ever touchdown to VR, I'd never played any other VR headset before that. That was my first time ever doing VR. That was so magical, so incredible. And now, recently, maybe 3-4 years ago, I got the Oculus Quest 2. I love my Quest 2. I would love to get a Quest 3 at some point because I've heard they're amazing. But obviously, it's I was shocked even with how much of an upgrade there was to Quest 2 from PSVR. I always thought PSVR was incredible, and then I played a Quest 2. I'm like, oh, this thing's wireless. It's doing it all wireless, and it's better than the PSVR. Wow, okay. It's pretty amazing. But Achievement over on YouTube in the chat says Oculus Quest 3 has the best startup experience. I haven't touched a Quest 3, but man, I would love to try one out sometime. Quest 2 is amazing.
Because the demo or the what?
Wait a second.
What?
Okay. Is there even a little bit of a chance of Sony's been bringing a lot of their games to Steam? Is there a chance we get Astro's, not Playroom, but Astro bought the first one that was in VR? And
Rescue Mission?
Yeah, Rescue Mission, eventually coming to Steam, to play on VR.
To play on what do they call their thing?
They have the Valve Index, but I mean most I can play all those Valve games on my Oculus too, just with Steam Link.
Right. I mean, I'm never gonna say never, right? Because we've seen crazier things happen, but I feel like it should be re-released for PSVR 2 before it goes anywhere else.
No, you said it yourself. PSVR 2's dead, dude. They're not bringing it back.
It is, but I don't think they would do it because it would be such a slap in the face of people who already have PSVR 2. If you're putting your VR games out on Steam before you put it out on our headset that you made us buy for $5,000. You know what I mean? So
I just would love.
I'm not gonna say never. I'm gonna say I would probably, if they did the legwork and made sure all PSVR 1 games work with PSVR 2, then I would say it's much more likely that they can come to Steam. But no, if they can't even get them on 2, then no thanks, not happening anytime soon anyway.
All right, it's a bummer. Thanks, Adrian. It's bummed me out.
So I didn't bum you out. Sony bummed you out for making a subpar piece of hardware.
I have my hopes up
with no support, aka
them.
which they're really good at apparently, because this is the third time they've done this.
Yeah,
put out a piece of hardware and not support it, and then go, it flopped. We're gonna drop it.
What do you expect is gonna happen if you're not gonna do something with it? Absolutely.
Well, at least this one doesn't have proprietary memory cards that cost an arm and a leg, unlike other handheld consoles that came out in 2012.
Well, heck, even the PSP had that with the memory stick duos. They're proprietary.
But they weren't.
Which I'm
stupid expensive back in the day. I feel like.
Yeah, they were more than SD cards. That's for sure.
Not a whole lot. Not as much as the Vita memory cards were than SD cards.
That's true. That's one thing.
And they gave you one.
When I recently got, I guess it was a few years back now, 2-3 years ago, when I bought a PSP because I could play Crisis Core. I love that I could go to Amazon and you can buy the adapter, so I can use a micro SD card in my PSP. Oh, that was amazing because the adapter is pennies. It's so cheap, and I already had the micro SD cards laying around, so it's this is so great. This is so easy. It's have
they were so worried about
of storage,
piracy and getting hacked. You have to get over yourself with that, dude. They're gonna hack the console. Okay, you can put as many safety checks and security checks and whatever else. They're gonna hack it. You need to just make sure that it's easier to buy games from your store than it is for people to steal them and, you know, take them offline and then put them on the SD card. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
If I have to go through a whole bunch of steps to mod your console to play the homebrew games versus one click to turn it on, one click to go to the store, download game, I'm just going to download the game and pay for it.
Right. And you want to make it even better is if they've paid for it before on a previous console, give it to them. It
just works on there.
On the new console. Like all these, that's something I've thought about with like, because PlayStation Plus, they got rid of PlayStation Now, the streaming service, but they've implemented it in PlayStation Plus. So it's still there, but it's just called PlayStation Plus now. I love how like they'll add games that were previously available. Like they have a whole PS1 collection, and a lot of them, it's like, oh, these were games I could buy on my PS3 back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But if I get rid of my PlayStation Plus subscription, I can't play them anymore. But I've paid money for them. So like they're there, but I'm not allowed to use them because I don't have a subscription. Like that's wild to me. It's like I already, like if I paid for it on PS3, I should be able to have access to the digital version.
Nintendo is doing the exact same thing with Switch Online.
Yeah.
People bought all those games on Wii and Wii U, and then now they're just on a subscription service, even though we already paid for them before. And if you turn your Switch Online off, you can't play them anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
They got us.
They are not the only ones with slimy practices, unfortunately.
Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.